Lord, grant me the serenity to understand the things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things that I can. And grant me the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today. Amen. Away from me.
You close to the edge, just don't move. My brother said his lawyer just gave him some bad news. Police found the drugs that were stashed in the bathroom. Not only that, but his court date approaching us fast too. So tell me what to do. Lord, you only seek the truth. If you want to bear fruit, then he needs to abide in you. If you seek transformation, it happens in solitude. Since I never had a shot, God threw me the alley-oop. I believe I can fly. Let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my peripheral, I see it from an angle.
What's up, good people? It's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. Y4C, but better known as Coach TJ. And you are back for another edition of the Bro Code Show. This show is sponsored by Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Make sure to visit your local Papa Murphy's retail store near you and load up on fresh, made-to-order, gluten-free Take and Bake pizzas, desserts, and salads. Make sure to use that mobile app for faster service and to earn additional savings. Now, for those who are new to the Bro Code Show, the Bro Code Show is a live talk show created to discuss, uncover, and justify the issues that concern us most as brothers, as family, and as a community. And we like to give that to you raw, uncut, and real respectful. Now, our greatest desire is to embrace everyone in positive, popular conversation. So no, we're not in the business of bashing or belittling anyone, but we do believe in being comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. Why? Because that's where understanding starts.
Yeah.
So as Grandma would say, let's chew the meat and spit out the bone. Now, real quick, oh man, that didn't go nowhere, did it? That flick of the wrist, but I didn't get that one right. So, nonetheless, for those that are just tuning in, we need a couple housekeeping rules. Please go to our Instagram at Bro Code Show. Not now, fellas, but when? Right now. Like, share, and keep up with these courageous conversations that we're having almost back to back. Also, go to our YouTube page, Bro Code TV Productions. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, so when these conversations happen, you'll know. So, fellas, man, it's been, man, weren't we just doing this yesterday?
It was just yesterday, right?
It felt like yesterday.
Yeah, it was. How y'all feeling, man? Talk to me.
I feel good, man. Blessed to be here, blessed to be a part of another amazing conversation, from another amazing individual, and looking forward to the conversation.
How about yourself, Bro Kurt? What's happening?
You know, I was thinking earlier, I was like, man, we got another podcast tonight.
Another one.
But I was excited, right? I was excited about just sitting down and hearing stories.
Mm-hmm. Doing what we do best, man.
The whole team coming together in a way, right?
In the vault. Like, I don't know if y'all understand, man. Like, we are in the vault. You can't see this right now, but we are at American Tobacco?
American Underground.
American Underground, I'm sorry. American Underground here in Durham, North Carolina. In the vault, man. So I'm curious, man. We are at the end of 2021, right?
Yeah.
The years just go by as a blur. Yeah. What are some of? I don't like the word resolutions, right? However, what are some of your goals? What are some things that you aspire to accomplish? We still have time to, in these last 4 to 5 weeks, to really chew the bone and put some meat and rubber on the road on the things that we want to do. So talk to me, fellas. Like, what are some things that you're looking to accomplish before the end of the year?
Well, for me, I started a vending machine company this year. 4 machines, 4 locations, looking to expand on that. Have a house, a new house that's being built. And so looking forward to that whole process. B&B business that's going, that I have to renovate my current space to get ready for the next space, as well as just getting better at the work that we do in the community and being prepared for that next round of conversations. That's it, not too much. And my day job, getting better at my day job. Yeah. So, a lot to look forward to.
Good deal. How about yourself?
I like that, man. You know what? I just printed out my new workshops for students in schools.
Good stuff, man.
And it was something that I've been focusing on, but I just like putting it off. And to see it print out the way it looked, I'm excited for that. But, man, really just working on myself. Just gotta lose a couple of these COVID pounds, get back to where I want to be. And then we'll be good.
I can dig that, man. For me, I'm right there with you, gentlemen, and that's why I love and appreciate you guys as bros, because like minds think alike. That doesn't make sense, right? But yeah, we think alike. How about that? But nonetheless, really wanted to continue to work on myself physically, right? And being more consistent with that. You know, I've had a taste of it and just want to be more consistent with that and continue the foundation with the work that we do in the community. So that way 22 will be everything that we assumed we lost in 20.
Correct. That's right.
But it was just put on pause.
Yeah, and some.
Right? And some, man. Because it really caused us to think outside that box, to really put ourselves in a place to stretch ourselves. And I believe, you know, just based on what we've seen in the last, 18, 20 months, that it's been better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people got better. You know, I know there's still a lot of bad things happening.
Yeah.
You know, new variants, people don't really know what's going to happen to them, but it was all in all a lot of lessons learned throughout this time.
Right. And coming out on the other side, I think for those that lived in that space, yeah, it's going to be dope. But we haven't introduced our guests yet, but I'm just curious, man, before we let the people know who is with us at the Vault, man, any goals or plans, desires for the end of the year, man?
Oh, absolutely. This year is a transition year for me. Looking to scale my business. I've got daughters who are in middle school now, so really want to spend more time with them, and so that's a goal for me.
Yeah.
Started back weight training, and so I'm at the gym 5:30 every day.
Okay.
And let me tell you something, man. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
But I got to get out the bed first.
Yes, sir.
That's tough.
That's the hardest part.
Once I get out the bed,
and
I'm
get to
good.
moving, yeah.
I'm good. So so that's my those are my three things right now that are really top of the list for me.
I can dig that. I can dig that. So for those who are watching, I'm sure you're quite wondering, man, whose voice are we listening to right now, right? So coming to the stage, man, we know that greatness comes by way of collective effort, and tonight is no different. Tonight we have the big homie Maurice Webb, husband, father, servant leader, and entrepreneur. So welcome to the stage, brother, man. Tell me 90 seconds or less, man. I want you to look at that camera or that camera right there and run us your resume. Put some respect on your name.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me out, man, to the illustrious show. My life and ministry and who I am, all wrapped up in one, man, is I like to have fun, hard work, and been an entrepreneur for the last 11 years. Just celebrated 15 years of marriage. I've got twin girls who are 11, and I got a 3-year-old, all girls. So, listen, I mean, help a brother out. And love to collaborate, love my people. From Detroit, Michigan, man. Been living here in North Carolina since 2009. So this is home. Detroit is home, born and raised. A lot of my family is still there. So if y'all watching tonight, thank you. And just grateful to be here, man.
Yeah, indeed, man. Well, we're glad to have you, brother. So let me get this right. You went from Detroit,
yes, sir,
to Durham.
Yeah, well, Detroit, Big Rapids for college.
Okay.
And then to North Carolina.
Okay, well, I can dig it, man. So, in the D, right? Now, for those that are listening, man, anyone that loves television, there's a series called BMF.
Right.
And this series is in Detroit.
Yes, right.
Talking about the Black Mafia family, man. Have you watched that? What are your thoughts? Like, anything you tell us about that? You got the inside scoop on Big Meech? I mean, talk to me.
Yeah, no spoilers, though.
No spoilers. The series is, it follows closely to Big Meech's life. And for me, the series is really a little bit of, it's really a little bit of a tale of my life. Unfortunately, for me, I was exposed to that life early. And I remember when I was about 11 or 12, we used to have this thing, because before there was BMF, there was a group called YBI, Young Boys Incorporated. And one of the big things that you saw in the city was you had a lot of runners. And these were young boys who were on bicycles who would have, dope in their socks, dope in book bags, dope in their underwear. And I remember at that age, that was kind of like it was almost like a rite of passage for us in the city. And that was a turning point for me. So at 12 years old, man, I had to really make a decision on whether or not I wanted to follow my big cousin's footsteps and sell dope, or do something different with my life. And I did get into some trouble and I'm sure we'll talk about that tonight. But at the same time, I realized it was probably something more for me than slinging dope. And so I didn't take that route. And I'm glad I didn't. It was the Lord who really saved my life, man. Something you guys might not know is I ended up going into foster care. So when I went into foster care, it changed the trajectory of my childhood.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And I was raised, my mother and my father was kind of in and out. My grandmother was in my life the whole time. And I watched the most powerful lady work her magic from a wheelchair. And that experience in my life, man, it taught me what hard work really was. And so having that exposure and then going into foster care, I couldn't take the path a lot of my cousins took.
Right.
And it was really the Lord saving my life.
Yeah, I could dig that scene in Air Force scene, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's chew the meat and spit out the bone, bro. Smith, what you got, bro?
Well, you know, throughout this whole month, we've been talking to a whole range of individuals doing amazing things, building communities, building a foundation for others, starting their own businesses. We have the privilege of being in the American underground, which, you know, I'm hoping we could do this more often. This
This does look, I don't know, it's a little swinging.
But this is a space, for those that don't know it, that offers a very convenient office space for business owners, startups, whether you need a co-working desk for one of the private offices. It provides options and layouts to meet all sorts of ranges and needs. I was just on a slide.
Meant for the kids.
You know, trying to be a kid, but realize my knees aren't what they used to be. But the creativity in this space is amazing. So we used to be sleeping, going down slides, all sorts of crazy little spots here. But nevertheless, you had made mention of the fact that you yourself are an entrepreneur. 11 years that you've been in the business of making your own. And so I'm curious if you could tell the world a little bit more about the work that you do and how that even came to pass. Like, why, how, when? Tell us as much as you can.
No doubt. Well, I'll start by saying I am somewhat of a rebel. And my wife often says, you wasn't meant to work for anybody. You know, you just, and I've tried it, man. I promise you I've tried it. I think like an entrepreneur. And my exposure came when I was 12 years old. Me, my cousin, and my brother, we had a bet. And the bet was we were to go out and shovel snow. And, you know, the thing about Detroit in the wintertime, we get a lot of snow.
Yes, sir.
So, needless to say, they came back with $40. I came back with $80. And I said, oh, I'm good with this. I like this life, and I can do this. And so that was my first introduction to entrepreneurship. I liked earning my own money. I went to the grocery store and told the guy, I said, I know I'm not even old enough to work here, but you need somebody to pull these buggies in because none of your workers want to go outside. So then I started seeing opportunity and stepped in. And the guy said, listen, I can't put you on payroll, but I'll give you $20 a week. Man, that $20 turned into 40 turned into, by the time I was 15, I was making more than the other guys because I had seniority at the company. So that was my introduction, and I was hungry. I knew I didn't want to do things the wrong way because, again, I had already been exposed to that. And all of my cousins were going to prison at the same time. So that's what started my journey. And I met a guy at a car wash. Watched this car one day. I said, sir, what do you do? Because this is a very nice car. And that got me exposed to painting parking lots. And every summer, until I went to college, I would go out in the summer, spend the whole summer working, and make more money than most of my homies working at McDonald's all year. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And got better at it, and then the guy trusted me with this truck. And then I went off to college. And I said, man, if I ever start a business, I would do this. And didn't know I was speaking into my own life. And when the economy tanked in 2008, that's when Precision Striping was born. And I literally started with a can of spray paint. Now I got over $100,000 worth of equipment. That is paid for. I just paid off my truck, man. So it took me a little while, but started from nothing, man, and literally just year by year Just kept building and kept building.
Now, last year, from what I understand, you had the opportunity to work for RDU Airport.
Absolutely.
What was that?
Yeah. So networking, actually. Networking, I was at an event in Raleigh, Durham, met a young lady who actually is the small business coordinator. So she connects small businesses to the airport. Met her. She said, hey, I need you to meet someone. At that event, I met an individual. He was a construction manager for the airport. And nothing came of it, right? Just an introduction. The guy calls me 3 weeks later. He says, hey, do you guys paint parking lots? It's like, come on, man. Of course we do. He's like, we've got a situation. He's like, the paint is falling from the ceiling in the parking deck. And we've got lawsuits galore going on right now. But while they're going to fix the ceiling, the discussion came up. They wanted to redo the parking lot because they felt like this was the only time they'd be able to get the lines painted. Hey, man, you got the right guy, okay? The funny thing is that 3 years prior, I had been on doing work at the airport. But the problem is that I didn't have the equipment. Now I was ready. And the opportunity showed up. I was able to meet the need, man. And it was a great experience. Made a lot of money. Built a name. They wrote an article about us. It's on our website. And it was just a phenomenal experience, man. So that was a great opportunity. But I always tell people, be ready, man, because a deal is being made every single day.
And so for those watching, how could they find out more about Precision Striping?
Yeah, absolutely. So, on social media, our website, precisionstripingllp.com. Also on our social media, it's Mr. PSLR. So that's my tagline on Instagram and on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Maurice, you said something that I don't want to pass over. The power of networking.
Yeah,
when we
man.
talk about business in general, but especially as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
How powerful. You said that a couple of times already, and you talked
Yeah.
about collaboration earlier.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how important that is.
Oh, man. Listen, we all have amazing ideas. We all have, God has gifted us with some imaginary things. We dream. We have all of these pieces that we want to bring out into the world. But the thing about it is that there's other people who do things better than you do. And instead of competing with each other, how can we collaborate? How can we come together? I mean, this conversation tonight started from a conversation from me and Troy talking and saying, hey, how can we do something, right? And just getting out of the mindset that my fellow man is a threat to me. He's an asset to me. And how can I use those assets to elevate what I'm doing? And then here's the beauty in it: reciprocation.
Right.
How can I help him elevate what he's doing? Because people care about their own stuff. And let me tell you a secret. If you ever want to get somebody to give you something, figure out what you can give them for free.
That's right. That's right.
And if you give them something for free, they will appreciate it. Now, everybody's not going to catch on to what you're doing, but eventually it will catch on.
The right person.
Because when you add value to people, they'll always remember that. See, it don't cost me nothing to send your phone number to a fellow man that, hey, man, you need to meet Troy. That don't cost me anything. And guess what? Troy's going to remember that. And now that relationship gets a little bit stronger because now I'm helping him to do something. He probably couldn't do that on his own because he didn't know the brother that I knew.
Or if he does, it's way more work.
Exactly.
The trust isn't built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
cosign, right?
So that's where I am in my life. It's a growth mindset. I'm not trying to take anything from anybody. I'm trying to help my fellow man elevate and to grow, man. So it's to me, it's about, hey, one of the things that I used to do is when I would wake up in the morning is, why is nobody calling me? Why are they not calling me to do the deal? I would ride by parking lots, man. I'm like, man, they didn't call me about that. To realize something. Who am I calling?
That's right.
Who am I collaborating with? Who am I? Hey, man, how can I help you elevate your brand? What can I do? Can I just put something on my social media to say, hey, man, go check this brother out, man? That's free, man. It just takes a little bit of effort, but it could go a long way.
Intentionality, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pays off, man. Does. Consistency pays off. Energy pays off.
Yeah, man.
Right?
No doubt.
All of that stuff pays off. Now, for those that are just checking in the Bro Code Show, we are live here at American
Underground.
in the vault, baby.
In the
Bull
vault.
City, stand up. Durham, North Carolina. For all those who are watching on Facebook, we appreciate you. Continue to follow the Bro Code and the movement that we have. Please go to our YouTube page, the Bro Code TV Productions, as well as our Instagram page at Bro Code Show. Check us out. Continue to hit the notification button. We love y'all. This is your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. Y4C, better known as Coach TJ.
Never had a shot, God threw me the alley-oop. I believe I can fly, let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my periphery.
We'll be right back on the Bro Code Show after a brief word from our sponsors. We all we got. This show is sponsored by Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Make sure to visit your local Papa Murphy's Pizza retail store near you and load up on fresh, made-to-order, gluten-free take and bake pizzas, desserts, and salads. Now make sure to use that mobile app for faster and to earn additional savings. Stay tuned for a new segment on the Bro Code Show called The Rehash. You'll learn more about the bros personally and what drives them as men and community leaders. The Rehash will be available on YouTube and all audio podcast platforms every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tap in to the Bro Code.
You know, I grew up as an angry kid. I didn't really understand my feelings at all. So the only one that I really knew was anger. And I remember very vividly, especially when I was about 12 years old, I wanted to kill my father. And I was serious. I think I was so serious that my mother saw it in my eyes. And I was gonna wait till he went to sleep, and I was gonna hit him in the head with a frying pan, them old cast iron skillets. Yeah, I was gonna find a new purpose for it. And I've never told him this story, but I really felt, even talking about it, man, it's so heavy for me, but I felt like I needed to erase him. I was tired of him hitting on my mother. I was tired of him treating us the way he treated us. The alcohol and the drugs, it was just too much. And I grew up with that anger. And I spent most of my 20s trying to prove to him that I wasn't like him.
What's up, good people? If you're just checking in, we're chopping it up with good brother Maurice Webb. Maurice is a servant leader, husband, father, and serial entrepreneur. So we're going to jump into this fatherhood thing, man.
Okay.
Now we've talked about a whole lot so far, but you run a conglomerate, right, outside of the entrepreneurship. Yeah, we got to speak life into this thing, right? Words matter, baby. It's global, right?
Yeah.
But 21st century fatherhood.
Yeah.
Tell us more about how it started, why it started, and how it became a passion for you.
Definitely. 21st century fatherhood is not necessarily an organization. It's an idea. And I thought it was important to shed light on fatherhood because, of course, around Father's Day, we get a lot of discussion about fathers and appreciate fathers. But fathers go through things every single day. It's a grind. It's a hustle. It's a sacrifice. And I said, one of the things that I wanted to do with my life is have a life cause. Something that I believe is something that I would do for the rest of my life. Also something I would do whether you paid me or not. And fatherhood became the thing that I felt was most important to me. And the message that I wanted to send was, you're a father for all your days on this earth. If you ask most people about their childhood, they'll probably tell you something about their experiences with their parents. And more importantly, whether they had a good relationship with their father or not. And I wanted to make an impact, number one, in my children's life, because I didn't know how to be a father. But also I wanted to help other men who may need a little help, may need to have someone in their life. And with the whole goal of whether or not you're in the mother of the child's life, you should always be in your child's life, always. And our children deserve us to fight for them, no matter what happens in the relationship. If you need that type of help, that's a different organization. But I wanted to focus on fatherhood. So that's where it started. My undergrad was in social work, so I was exposed to a lot of work with social service agencies. I wanted to be a change agent, and I started working with youth. And then I realized one day I realized, I said, man, I've been working with a lot of youth, but they would come back to me years later because I stayed in these guys' life. And the number one thing that came up was they had no support at home. So I said, man, if I can get the dad, I can get the kids. And I changed my focus from the kids, even though I love youth, man. I love the youth. But I felt I needed to work with the fathers. And I wanted to work with the fathers because I felt like if the father had a better understanding of how to be in his child's life, he could do way more than what I could do. I'm just a messenger. And I look at it like this. If you go to the gym and you're lifting weights, right? You may go by yourself all the time, and you know what you can do. You know your limits. But you get some guys around you, and you see these guys throwing up weight on the bench. You may throw a little extra plate on there because you're like, you know what? I'm feeling myself today. And then you get that weight on you, and you're trying to, and you hear the guy saying, throw it up there. And that might give you that extra push just to get it up there. I feel like I want to be that spotter. To just be like, you can get this weight up. I know you can. And it may be the weight of you just lost your job. It may be the weight of you going through a divorce. But you still can come out stronger. You just might need a little push. Because we all need a little push. And I just wanted to be that type of guy in all of the men that I knew, because I knew that we all, even if you are a dad that's at home, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are impactful in your kids' lives. I got 11-year-old girls. Man, I'm fighting for their hearts right now. I'm trying to be the most important figure in their life. Not while they're home, but when they leave. That little boy, he gonna know me before he meet me. Because I've made an impact in my daughter's lives. And so I sat down, man. I went through some things in 2018 where I was struggling in my marriage. We were on the brinks of separating. And I said, you know what? I can't leave these girls for another man to raise my kids. It scared me. It scared the crap out of me. And from that moment forward, I said, I'm going to work this out because my daughters deserve to have a father in their life. And me and their mother, we worked it out. We're still married, man. I've been with the same woman since college. Since college, sweetheart. I tell people, a lot of people meet different women. I've met different women with the same woman because we've evolved. And that's right. We're loving each other differently now, right? We got 3 kids together, man. Got a little dog. And we don't have everything we want, but we got everything we need, That's good. So that's where I'm at, man, and that's why fatherhood is important to me. And the funny thing is, when you take on a cause in your life, a lot of times you're struggling with that yourself. It's not like things have just been rosy and peachy for you. You're typically struggling with the thing that you're passionate about. That's why you're passionate about, because it bothers you. It rubs you the wrong way. My father has never really been the father that I needed. But I made a choice to forgive him, man.
It's big, man.
My mother passed away in 2008. And I felt like my mother would not have died if she had not met the man she was with. Because of the things he exposed her to. I had to get over that. I was at the hospital. I was the one who had to
take your time, bro.
I had to pronounce the last rites over my mother's life. I looked at my father and I said, man, you're a coward. That's how I felt. Because I saw somebody who should have taken that responsibility on. Why is a 22-year-old kid having to make life decisions like this? So I was angry. I was frustrated. I was losing my mother at the same time. I remember going to Henry Ford Hospital where my mother passed away. And I would go in there at 4 o'clock in the morning and sit in the waiting room because I didn't want to be around nobody.
Yeah.
But I needed to be there for my mother, even though she was in a coma. She was already gone. Same way DMX died, same way my mother passed away. And I lived with that, man. And I said to myself, God, how do we get through this? Right. How do I get through this pain? How do I get through this anger that's festering? You know? And I had to make a choice, man. I had to be a man about it. And that's something that I felt like I could help somebody else with. And that's where I really started my journey, man. So, you know, through my valleys,
Yeah.
I saw a need, and I saw a way to help someone else. Yeah. Not necessarily by offering them a job and I can do that too, but offering them hope. Mm-hmm. And I just think that we need hope. Mm-hmm. We need inspiration. Mm-hmm. We never know what people are going through. And my story is my story, but it was given to me to help somebody else. And that's how I feel about my life now.
That's indeed true. First and foremost, I appreciate your vulnerability. Because as bros, man, that's one of the things that we talk about all the time. And we appreciate the fact that we've matured to a space that's a superpower. It's no longer looked at as something that has to be validated by what other people think or their opinions.
Yeah.
But you found value in you. I also appreciate the fact that you acknowledged, you know, because that's where the change starts. You have to acknowledge there's a need, right? And I really love to hear, from me, when we talk about anger, and I know fellas deal with that too, and I'll let them talk about it on their own, but how did you start to become productive in that space, right? Because for me, I have scars on my hands, walls that have been punched, windows that I broke out because I allowed that anger to get the best of me. Mm-hmm. Right? So I had to find a space of productivity, or it would still come out in those angers of rage, even in marriage.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. Where and how did you travel in that space?
I lived with a lot of insecurity and a lot of self-centeredness. And I didn't know it was that until my wife showed up in my life and was able to identify it. I also lived with the anger of being neglected as a kid. Because I felt like, why you neglect me? What did I do, right? So you start to blame yourself for other people's failures. And you take on that. And I had made this pact with myself to say, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I belong. I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. And that got me through college, but it wasn't, it was still unhealthy. It was still toxic. It was masked anger, you know, and it was masked in a way where I could package it enough to get through that part of my life. But when I moved to North Carolina, God told me you don't need that to survive anymore. And he started putting people in my life that challenged me to look at myself. I didn't walk with gratitude. I didn't walk with a grace that even if things don't work out in your life, you still can find good in every situation. Right. It might be hard sometimes, but you can find good in every situation. I'm telling you, man. Like, we sometimes will say, you know, why didn't I get the deal? You know, now I say, was it meant for me? You know, I'm happy for that brother because that means that he can feed his family tonight. You know what I mean? Now I got to go find what's for me. And that's one of the things that I started to really start taking that self. I'm going to tell you something. When you start taking a self-inventory, that's a hard place in life. It's a hard place because it's not about anybody else but yourself. And that's where I really started to turn that corner and just learning how gratitude was important for me. I had to forgive my mother. I wrote a letter to my 8-year-old self and said, you don't have to be that little boy anymore. That don't mean he don't show up every now and again. But I don't have to live in that anymore. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things for me in my journey. I got off social media for a little while because I felt like I was doing it to just be seen. And I needed to evaluate, what is this about for me? You know, I asked myself those questions. And the answers that constantly came back is, well, what do you want for your life? You know, you want to make $1 million? Well, how are you attracting millionaires in your life? Because I promise you, they're not acting like you act, Maurice. You want to be impactful? Well, what do people with impact do? They're not sitting around feeling sorry for themselves all day. They're turning their pain into something that's productive. So I had to go through my own, because I wanted more, but I didn't know how to get it. And a lot of times, man, we like to live from the outside in, but really the power is living from the inside out. See, if we take an inside out approach to things that we do, you're always going to be assessing it from an authentic place.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
Because I think culturally, that's hard.
Man.
Because we don't get any, there's no value from that, right?
We're going to jump back into that. We definitely want
pause
to do
on
that,
that,
right?
though.
Because that right there, we're about to go turn a corner.
Yeah.
We do want to take a pause for the cause, man. So if you're just checking in, we are chopping it up with big brother Maurice Webb. Maurice is a servant leader, husband, father, and entrepreneur. Definitely want to give a shout out to Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you go get that take and bake pizza. Tell him Bro Troy from the Bro Code sent you. Holla at Papa Murphy's. We'll be right back.
Never had a shot, God threw me the alley hoop. I believe I can fly. Let me mingle with the angels. Heaven's in my peripheral. I see it from.
We'll be right back on the Bro Code Show after a brief word from our sponsors. We all we got. The Bros just got stronger. We've added a new member to the team, A. Ruth Proctor. The blonde bombshell herself will be hosting this new segment called The Proctor Report. This segment will share behind-the-scenes footage and engage questions from our listeners from a female point of view. Tap in to the Bro Code.
All right, so we're going actually over to another section of the property, and we're going to be seal coating the area.
Welcome back to the Bro Code Show. What you got, Bro Kurt?
Bro, Rev, you hit a couple of things, man. Turning your pain into purpose, right? We going through something, but get something out of it, right? You talked about fatherhood and how important that is, but I really want to hear, you talked about the inside out living, right? And in the culture, man, it's the exact opposite. Talk about that. Help us with that. If we're speaking to fathers or young men, how important it is to know who you are first and have those principles.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
No doubt. I like to think about that inside out living like a clock, and each of us have a clock that's ticking, right? And sometimes some of us feel we're running out of time, right? Where some other people have figured out how to get time on their side. And the beauty in understanding who you are from the inside out, number one is we don't like ourselves. Right. We don't really like ourselves. I heard somebody say that wearing clothes is an outward expression of sin. Because when Adam was in the garden, he was ashamed, and so what did he do? He covered himself. So the nicer the clothes, the more shame is on us, right? Because we try to cover ourselves. We're constantly trying to cover up who we really are. And so for me, I really wanted to take a deeper look at myself. Here's why. Because I didn't know who I was, and I had been making decisions that were affecting my life in a negative way. And I'm saying this is counterproductive to really where I want to be. You know, on one side I say I want to be financially free, but I keep buying stuff to keep myself enslaved to things. Right? So I'm living in this paradox, right? I'm living in this world. You know, I say I want to be committed to one woman, but every time a woman walks by, I'm checking her out. And then my wife sees that and says, he doesn't really like me. He likes what he sees because I don't look like her. So I got to check myself at that point, right? Wow. You know, I say I want to be a private person, but I'm showing up at everybody's social event, hugging and socializing with everybody just because I want to be seen. Yeah. So I was living in this paradox. And I just feel like a lot of us are living in that paradox of what we say we are and what we truly are. And it's only, nobody is going to arrest you for being an imposter. You can get arrested for committing a crime, right? But one of the biggest frauds in life is to live as someone else, right? It's to live out a life that is not truly you.
But you know.
You
as
know.
a person, every night you look in that mirror, like you know right?
One of my favorite movies is Catch Me If You Can. Right? I watch it around the holidays every year. And the premise of the movie is his father taught him how to be a con artist. Right. And he took it to another level. Right? And this is a true story. He ends up becoming an advisor to the FBI, which starts the fraud unit of how to read fraudulent checks. Right? But throughout the whole movie, he elevates himself in being someone else.
I'm worried when you say the fact of we can't pretend to be someone else. I'm worried about our children, for one, with this metaverse. The Internet 3.0 is going to be a space to where we're all going to be living through avatars.
Absolutely.
More so than we already are with social media as it is right now. What are your thoughts on that, with how that's going to impact either the work that you're doing with fathers truly being there for their kids and being able to kind of break through that fourth wall, so to speak?
Unfortunately, we're going to have people that are going to dive into that, and it's only going to make things worse for them, and then they're going to realize, I need to step away from that, right? Just like social media did for us. We dived into it. You know, what did social media start at? We was posting pictures with our food and pics of the sunset. And then it just evolved into something, in some ways has been good, but in a lot of ways has been toxic for us. And I think the metaverse or Web 3.0 or augmented reality, we're going to see men who are don't want to be with a woman. They won't desire a woman because they're already engulfed in pornography, right? So we're already engulfed in a virtual reality world. What's the difference when you put on glasses? And I just saw something that said someone invented a way for you to feel virtual reality. So now you can feel it and it's in your... So it's going to get worse in that regard. But for those of us who are on platforms like this, who understand the importance of keeping this out in the forefront and having these discussions, I think we're going to be on the other side of it. I think we're going to be the ones saying, listen, don't do it. It's not worth it, right? Because this is beauty right here, interacting, especially black men, right? That's my lane right there, man. It's so much energy that you can't put this in the metaverse, because we haven't met each other personally, but I feel like I've known you guys for years. I feel like we grew up together because there's a shared vision and understanding there. So I don't think you can duplicate that part. But you know, we live in a world where you know, this is America, right? We want to keep people in these experiences To my point, to what I'll say to that is that for those of us who are believe in authentic relationships, dive deeper. You don't need a whole lot of friends in life, right? But you do need some deep relationships. You do need a few deep relationships. Work on those, man. We don't need 100 people just to say we have friends. You just need to make an impact in the people that's in your life.
I love that because we talk about transactional and transformational, right? So a one-off rather than planting a seed, watering it, and watching that grow. And you're right, you're watching that happen now in the work that we're both doing.
Sure.
Right? And using this platform. But I'm curious because Bro Smith had a great question. He was talking about how that metaverse or that 3.0 augmentation affects children. Well, you're a girl dad.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you got twin 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And not only are you in a place, because I have a 12-year-old girl as well, different breed. And Kirk is a girl dad as well, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing to prepare them? What are you doing to get them in a space where it's more appreciative rather than abused as it pertains to the access that we have?
Definitely. Well, one is, I mean, we're already experiencing some of this metaverse thing, right, with cell phones. We're on cell phones now 16, 17 hours a day, right? 100 times in an hour we've looked at our phone. You know, scrolling now has been proven to be psychologically damaging to our psyche. You know, self-esteem issues, body image issues, it's all happening. Unfortunately, my girls do have cell phones now because mom wants to, she
watch yourself now. She might see this, right?
She wants to, you know. But what I've started to do is to say, how can I help my children see this as a tool,
right,
and not as an entertainment device, right? We're not going to be able to catch everything, okay, unless you're going to stay up 24 hours a day and keep the phone in your pocket every 5 minutes. You know, some of it we won't be able to catch. But then on the other end is if we keep the relationship there, right? So when we do have moments where we can have those deep conversations, I do something called Saturday Academy, right, where I sit down with the girls and we talk about things that they're not going to learn in school, right? So we talk about what the cell phone does to the brain, right? Because they're not going to learn that in school, right? We talk about money. Right. We're talking about cryptocurrency. We're talking about entrepreneurship. All of the things that they won't get in school, those are topics that we're bringing up. And so we're talking about the metaverse. We're talking about Web 3.0. And I want to just get them out in front of it. This is the power of fatherhood, right? Yeah. Because if we can get out in front of it and expose ourselves, because you can't give what you don't have, right? So this is one of the things that I talk about with men, is say, hey, look, you have to go and get that information. You got to go get that knowledge. And you may not be able to interpret it or put it on her level yet, but at least you're exposed to it. And eventually God will give you the words to speak, right? He'll give us the things that we need to speak into our children's life if you have a desire to do so. So when we ride into the store to get bread, I'm challenging them. I'm hitting them with the questions just to see where they are.
Has anybody seen King Richard yet?
I haven't seen it.
Man, I've heard such great things about it. It's
good, man. Everything he's talking about, man. King Richard was, he was a beast. What did he say?
Yeah, he had a plan.
He had a plan, man.
He had a plan.
And so it was cool because he not only had a plan, but they knew the plan and they worked the plan, right? And so when the money came, he's like, no, that's not the plan, right? Exactly. And I think they got 3 or 4 times. They offered $3 million. Venus, she got $12 million because they were working the plan.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, what if that father, don't get me wrong, mom was strong too in the home.
Right.
But what if he didn't have that plan?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And shout out to my wife. She's home with my baby girl now. So shout out to my wife. She holds it down. And we're a good team in that regard. You know, I always say we're on the same team. We're not always running the same plays, but we're on the same team. Okay? So that's one of the things that I try to do, man, is just really, and listen, here's the thing. You got to get creative, man. You know, I talk about this in some of our teachings as well, is let's just dumb this thing down. We ain't teaching Socrates and Plato right now, okay? Just get creative, man. Take everything around you. This is one of the gifts I think that men have, is we are problem solvers, right? And we are creators. You know, there's something in us that we can offer. But if you're not living from that inside out, you can't do it. Because you start cookie cutting stuff and trying to apply it at home, and it's like it doesn't work.
Right.
This is why this is so important to me, because you can't give what you don't have, right? And if you don't choose to look within yourself, because all of the treasure, man, is on the inside, bro. It's down in us. It's not in what we wear or where we go. It's in what God has already made us to be. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about God has placed eternity in every man. Okay? That means that he's placed limitless resources inside of us. Now, we live inside of time, right? We live in this budgeted time space, right? 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, right? 365 days a year. I got to get it done. But God is saying, inside of you is limitless creativity. There's a gift in you that I put in you that if you tap into it, it'll feed your children's children, right? My grandfather, my wife's grandfather, he just passed away. We're eating off of his sacrifices that he made 40, 50 years ago, man, right? I said, man, where are the men like this? That's who I want to be. I had the honor of speaking at his funeral, and I said, man, if I could just be half the man that this man was, I'd be doing all right, you know. And so making an impact, and that's one of the things I think is so important. I don't know if it truly touches on the question. That metaverse thing is still, it's a deep. We got to spend a little time on that, but
You did.
yeah, man, just having that. If you fix a few things in yourself, it impacts hundreds of things in the world around you.
I'm curious, and thank you for that. You've touched on this a few times, potentially not saying it, or saying it in different ways. We talked about masks, we've talked about clothing, right? And really, applying things to ourselves to be looked differently at others when we're blemished on the inside. So you had a topic that I thought was very interesting in this fatherhood initiative and really encouraging the men, and I believe it says the many faces of a man, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me more about that. Dissect that for me. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, the many faces of a man. We're fathers, right? We're providers. We carry a lot of titles, and it really is around all of those things are important, but they're not really who you are, right? They are hats that you wear, right? There are people that you. One minute, I had the privilege of being in my kids' life when they were really young and small. So sometimes you don't have, some people work outside the home. I was there. I was a stay-at-home dad when my kids were really young. My wife worked. I was at home with the kids. So I got a chance to really see, oh man, and I had twins. My first kids were twins. So man, listen, $160 diapers a month, okay? I was changing them out like they was paperweights, baby, okay? And so I got a chance to see just what that meant.
Right.
And I realized that I had to put on a different face, right? I had to put on something different. But that really wasn't who I was. And what I learned was we don't talk enough about being chief encourager in our homes, right? Chief cheerleader, right? It's not as sexy as chief provider.
Yeah, a priest.
Right, right? It's so when I talk about the faces, I'm talking about really illuminating and bringing light to areas that don't often get discussed as much, but they make a huge impact, right? They make a huge impact. Like for instance, if you come home and speak one positive word over your family, just walk in the door and or you're at the dinner table, or whatever, right? That can have an impact for years to come. You know what I mean? And sometimes as men, we processing, so we don't really talk a whole lot. But that's where we can really make an impact is our words, right? But if you're not getting yourself, if you're not thinking along those lines, it's hard for you to share that. And so the faces sometimes is that we're like garbage men. We're just carrying all the garbage. You know what I mean? We're just carrying all the garbage. And you look at a garbage man, you're like, what did Dr. King say? If you're gonna be a garbage man, just do it to the best of your ability. And so having pride in that. My job is to take on things that nobody else can handle, and I wear that proudly. So that's part of what that discussion was about.
That's good.
I was going to talk about the social media quite a bit. I know you had found some photos.
Oh, we have another segment here. Let me see if I can find. Let me see your phone, brother. See if we can help this brother out. So we have a segment here. To Smith's point, we did a little research, and we can be our authentic selves
Definitely
on our social media platforms because we have a choice to hit the post button. So we went through a little social media, did a little research, and we found 3 photos that we think kind of exemplify everything that we talked about tonight.
Sure.
We're going to show you the photo, and we just want to hear why you shared it with the world, who's in the photo, and what it means to you. So we're gonna start with this one right here.
Okay, all right. This was I think our 10th anniversary, marriage anniversary, and the wife she wanted to get a little adventurous. So the theme for this anniversary was let it all hang.
Okay.
So we went. What's this? What do you do with this? Zip lining. So this is in Mexico. It was raining, and we went from riding the 4-wheelers to zip lining. So that's why I got that poncho on, because it was raining, and man, that was fun. So we're literally through some like terrains. I mean, I think Pablo Escobar got some money in that jungle somewhere, man. It was deep, and literally, man, we was like, 200-300 feet in the air, man, coming down this line. So that was the theme. Let it all hang.
I love that. I'm an adventurous person too. So yeah, have you been to Asheville yet?
No.
So in Asheville, I can't remember the name of it. They took an old golf course and turned it into a zip line adventure. And 10 of them.
He said, "I'm good."
We did it. So for our first year anniversary, I took my wife to Asheville, and that picture resonated with me because we're visual. As men, we're visual. So when I saw it, it took me right back to that. I didn't know that was for your anniversary.
Yeah, anniversary. 10th
so
anniversary.
I did it for my first. This one was your
10th anniversary.
Wow, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
Aligned. So tell us about this one right here.
Okay. Yeah, this was this year. This was this year. I wanted to do something a little different for this 15th anniversary, and up until this point, we had not included the kids, and I thought it was important for them to see. I wanted to raise their imagery of what the black family could be, and so I said, hey, for this one, I want to take it a little bit more upscale, and I want to include the kids. And so we're down in Charlotte, and we had a photographer come. She's actually been doing our pictures for a long time. And I said, I want to just step it up, man, and get a little bit more dressy. So I'm wearing, that's my first tuxedo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like every man should at least have one tuxedo, right? So I bought a tuxedo, and the wife, she listen, you tell my wife photography time, man, she on it. She ready to go. And my daughter, she hadn't been in any of our photos because she's 3, so we hadn't taken pictures in a couple of years. So this was an opportunity for her to be, and she took the stage. 3-year-old. That's why she's in the middle. And for my daughter, so I just wanted to elevate our imagery and take it up a notch.
I can dig it, man. It looks like the presidential family.
Yeah, man. We just need a dog. That's all we need is the dog.
That was it. I love it, man. So, that is Queen City too, right? Yeah, absolutely. When I look at it a little bit more.
Yeah, you definitely outnumbered.
Yeah.
I told him, man, I'm a minority in my own house, man.
A lot of estrogen in there, brother.
That's why I'm here, on the bro code.
Hey, so I got to hit on this.
Yeah, all we got.
Yeah. Hey, I saw a meme, and as a dad, I can resonate. It says, as a father, the little things that you do is when you roll up in the driveway, oftentimes you sit there for about 10 minutes.
No doubt. You do. No doubt, man. Driveway ministry.
I do it too. I be scrolling, so I be messing up my brain twice. I be scrolling, then I be looking at the front door like, nah, not yet, player.
I'm going to tell you something. I pull up, man, my girls will come out the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm good. I'll be in there in a second.
Hey, I cracked the window like, nah. Yeah, man. I ain't ready yet.
I ain't ready yet.
No.
Exactly.
I can think that, man. We love our family, right? But as we need that space, it's almost a preparedness, because you're right. our words resonate.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
And I do love the fact that when I open the door and the 7-year-old's like this,
Yeah.
I do love that.
Yeah.
Right? But I have to prepare myself.
You have to, man. Hell yeah. Being a parent is a tough job, man. It's a tough job, man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate that. You made me think about this. I talked about this last picture, brother.
Okay. This one here, I'm with my man E.T. I had an opportunity.
People know now. Everybody may not know what it is.
Yeah. The great Eric Thomas, man. This brother here is he's a great brother, man. I had the opportunity to see him in Jersey. I was there on just an entrepreneur linked up, and the conference was going on. So I bought a ticket, man. Went to the conference. It was the Founders Conference, and he was speaking, and had a chance to just catch up with him behind the scenes, man. A real cool brother. Both of us are from the city of Detroit, so had a chance to just pick his brain a little bit. And everything that you see on camera, I experienced it in that short period of time in person, man. So he was a real good brother, and that was just a great moment. It was a turning point for the business. 2015. In 2015, as an entrepreneur, I decided that I was going to jump all in. Right. So previously, the first 5 years, I was working jobs here and there. Right. Had to make ends meet. Right. And what I realized was that I was losing money working for someone else. I had to either had to decide to do the business or not do it. It was at that point in my life, and I decided to jump 2 feet in, man, hands all in, and that's when my business took off. Yeah. And at the end of the year, I went to that conference, and everything that I was experiencing at that conference, I had already been activating in my life, and the conference was really just confirmation.
I love that, man. Confirmation takes it to a whole nother level, brother.
Yeah.
I do love that. Well, we've asked a whole lot of questions, Maurice. You know, we ran you through the gambit.
Hopefully I was all right for y'all, man.
Man, anyone that listens to this, I'm sure could be.
I can't wait to get the video so I can replay some of these.
You already know.
Cool, man.
I can't wait.
Thank you.
You know, but so thank you for that. We have a segment called Flip the Script, right? In this segment now is your opportunity to ask us individually or collectively anything you want.
Okay, no doubt. Let me start with this, man. How do you guys collaborate for the show? You know, there may be a difference of opinion on the direction. How do you guys come back to a place where there's cohesiveness and togetherness?
I like that.
Man,
Yeah, you go with that one.
you going to talk.
You should
Like,
go-
man,
you should
talk
go
to
with
the
that.
man.
It's relevant because
Yeah,
we just had it out before the show.
I think the key part is we trust each other and we have love for each other.
Yeah.
And so we may have our differences in regards to, the theme or who we want to get on and what question, what order. But we all understand the purpose is to engage in these impactful conversations, and we allow each other to be heard. And so it could be 5 minutes before the show, and we can say, hey, you know what, let's try this. Instead of this, let's go this route. And we say, hey, let's try it.
Yeah.
We've been doing this since June of last year.
2020, Father's Day.
And so we're very much still learning, still building. We're trying to grow this thing to be as great as it possibly can, and a lot of that just takes patience. It takes some time for us to humble ourselves, and it takes feedback from all parties to make that work. And so we're doing a absolutely fantastic job of listening to each other so we can be better for each other.
Definitely.
So I'm going to say, he said trust and love. I totally agree. But also, we know it's bigger than us. And we stay centered in that. Like this was grown from the nonprofit, right? And it's going to funnel right back into that. And so we understand that. But so really, and two, we know our roles.
Yeah.
Like I know what Troy's doing throughout his day. So I know when I need to jump in and do something different for him. Or same thing with JC. We know each other. And we really like each other.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
You talked about support, man, and we have a saying, it's not a finger, like and another saying that we're not new to this, we treat this like we live this. Like this is innate.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a place, and I'll speak for myself, I've matured to a place to appreciate what Jay said and understanding that feedback is a gift. It has nothing to do with the chink in my armor. And I've matured to a place that I'll receive it. I may not like it. But I'll receive it. And I love them and I appreciate them. You know, trust is something that is developed through time, right? And I met Jay back when I was working a secular job. And he made fun of me, right? He didn't know. He didn't do it on purpose, But I was walking out with my box, had my little plant. And matter of fact, it was my grandma. It was my grandmother's plant. When she died, it was a plant that resembled her. I'm walking out with my box. He's like, "What'd you do? Get fired?" I was like, "Yeah." And that was the last conversation we had at that place of establishment, and we just stayed connected. But we had developed a bond through bow ties. When I was heavy in weight and lost the weight, it gave me a newfound appreciation for clothes and wearing those clothes because I didn't have to try it on. I didn't have to be defined by the 10 by 10 called the big and tall.
Yeah.
So I started wearing bow ties, and I think I started Bow Tie Tuesday. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure.
You engineered. I tried to
Bow Tie Tuesday.
I would come in there every day, bow tie pimping. Sharp, man. He was like, "Man, can you teach me that?" So anyway, long and the short, we really developed a bond and appreciation for who we are.
Yeah.
And the gifts,
Love it,
talents,
man.
anointings that God has bestowed upon us.
Yeah.
And we understand our dope.
Yeah, man.
Straight like that.
It's inspiring to me because this has been an area that I have not been able to be successful yet in finding like-minded individuals to take the fatherhood piece to the next level. And that's why I started to collaborate just with the message out because I didn't have that, those bonds. And, it's hard sometimes because you have competing ideas and, and interests and things like that. And so when you find something as beautiful as collaboration, because I truly believe that in the next 10 years, the ones who are really going to succeed are people who are tribal, right? Not the key man. It's the tribe. You can be the key man,
Right.
but collectively, we need to come together as a tribe.
Let's talk about that collectiveness. I know we're winding it down, but it hit me. The Fatherhood Initiative and collaboration, we both work in a space and an environment using video games. And how we got here is we know of each other, but I saw a video on LinkedIn and you were inside of an establishment that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Because we use that same establishment to speak life into the children that we serve through our nonprofit. But talk to me about that, and how is that piece going to be used in the future to continue to develop fathers?
Absolutely. Well, that's part of my mission to be impactful, but also to be creative, right? We're in a world now where we have resources, we have different things going on. Let's take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah.
And my whole goal is every father is not going to do the same thing with their children, right? But can I bring exposure to some things that may be something that you hadn't thought about before, right? Because the whole idea for us is, can we create great moments for dads with their children, right? That's really our sole mission now, is how can we create great moments, right? Memorable moments. Moments you can look back on and say, because of that, I have a closer bond with my child. Because if you have the bonds, everything else can flow. When your daughter is 16 and she just got into a car accident, she knows she can call dad. I always tell my kids, I want to be the first one you call, not the last.
No matter what.
Right? Because sometimes, you're going to get yourself in things that emotionally you may not be able to get out of, but I might have already been through it. Or if I haven't, I know somebody. You know what I mean? So we can work this out together. So creating great bonds. So that's what the gaming piece is all about. It's really part of a portfolio to say, hey, look, we got these great resources in our own community, right in our own backyard.
That's right. Let's
take advantage of them. And two, let's help our brother build his business, right? Because that's the reciprocation.
That's absolutely right. And that's part of the reason I'm great. We're huge on representation.
Yeah.
It matters. Not only does words people that are in front of our children matter.
Definitely.
Because they'll be what they see.
Definitely.
And they don't know what they don't know.
Definitely.
Right? So using video games is a way to not just spark that critical thinking, but potential career development.
Yeah.
And bring down the lens of fear. So I look forward to us collaborating on
Yeah,
that.
man.
Right?
Yeah.
And really bringing the kids and the fathers together and
Yeah.
making those memorable moments. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that, man. As we bring this to a wrap, man, earlier I asked you a question. I said, man, if you can give me one word to describe yourself, or a word that you live in that encourages you, what would it be? And, you know, the word that you gave me, we're going to talk about it, man. It really blew our mind. I was talking about this with Bro for the show. The word you said was authentic.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said to him was, man, that's like a lost art.
Yeah.
You know, because all of this whole show we talked about masks, clothing, the things
Yeah,
that
man.
we hide ourselves in or behind, and you gave me authentic. So we want to do something special for you to let you know that you are officially one of the bros.
Okay, man. Okay.
So we got a $2 bill here from you, from my brand. It's called You Matter.
Okay.
And this whole year I've been giving these out. I've given out over 1,400. The goal is to give out 1 million.
Wow.
To like pay it forward to people. And the $2 bill represents a rarity. You don't have $2
right.
bills hanging around.
Yeah.
So we got your name on here. It says You Matter. On the back, we signed it for you, and it says authentic.
Okay.
Because we appreciate authenticity. It's important. It really is, man.
right.
So I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you,
For you,
man.
brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
There you go. I want you to hang that up amongst the many awards that you and your wife have
Yeah.
already gotten to commemorate and think of us as the Bro Code Show. Good stuff, man. Well, we certainly appreciate it. We talked about a lot, Maurice. You know, we've went back memory lane with your anniversaries and the things that you've developed with your children, the Fatherhood Initiative, and all of the great things that you're doing in your church ministry and your entrepreneurial endeavors.
Thank you.
But you're more than welcome. So, did you have a good experience? Was this pretty cool?
Phenomenal, man.
It was phenomenal. I like that word. He said phenomenal. All right now.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, this segment right here is called Calling Them Out. Call them. Not Tyrone though, right? But what we need is that for you to look in that camera right there and call out someone that would appreciate a Bro Code experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if my brother Al Howard has been on the show or not, but I would love to call out my brother Al Howard of Good Stewart Apparel. Great brother, man, doing some great things in the city of Durham. And then also Roger Cornegie. Yeah, bro, you need to get on here, man. He's got a special ministry that he's doing. It's called the Raleigh Food Trap. And he just bought a new home, man, got married. He's a musician, and he's doing his thing, man. His Instagram is off the chain. So if you're always looking for a new spot to check out, man, he's got it on his Instagram. So, Roger, you need to be on the show, man. Great brother.
Al.
Yeah, come on.
We know Al, man. Love you, Al. Appreciate you, brother. And Roger Cornegie.
Yeah.
All right, so Al, Roger Cornegie.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Absolutely.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, man. We always end the same way, brother. You spoke it. You know, words matter, man.
Yeah.
Right? So we speak life before ending every show, and tonight's no different. The quote reads, attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, and mirror what you admire. It's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. Y4C, and we are the Bro Code. Yeah! Good stuff. Trey, man, appreciate you guys. That was good.
It's like I'm going through circles, I'm in that same old place. I see you closing the curtains, but I got something to say. GTD, stand up. I mean, I just don't get it, as if they can't see you making the way. City lights, what up? He's preparing the way. City lights, what up? How could you live for tomorrow if you ain't promised today? Or could you walk on water if you don't stand on faith? It's like I'm going through circles, I'm in that same old place.